Alright, now this thing is recorded. We're heading to the truck, to the yard. Gonna go knock out an oil change. I know this thing is tracking and whatnot, but we're gonna go knock out an oil change while it's cool in the morning. It's gonna get hot, kind of like 10, 11. Here, I got my seatbelt on. Stop tripping. It's been a long time since I made a video. It's been a minute. Because, well, first of all, I was on vacation in Bosnia for like 5 weeks. And then I just haven't been making content, guys. Like I've kind of been like feeling some type of way, you know, life and everything. You just kind of like get put in a place sometime where you're like wondering, like, what am I doing right? Am I on the right path? What am I doing with my life? And then on top of that, you know, when you're a truck driver and everything is crappy, loads are junk, you're kind of like just, you don't have motivation to do things. You don't have motivation to like make content and whatnot. And so like, it's not really an excuse for not making the content, but that kind of hopefully explains it to you guys and why I haven't been making anything. It's just, my mindset just hasn't been there. And I'm trying to like flip the switch and be more optimistic and try find better ways about doing things and you know, be more positive. But you know, it gets difficult. That's all I'm gonna say. But anyways, like I said, we're heading to the yard. I gotta go knock out an oil change, and maybe the last oil change I'll be doing in this van. I think I sold it to a neighbor, friend of mine, and he's the one that actually went with me to pick up this thing. He was on a load from Tennessee home, and then I was going to Kentucky, pulling the little trailer pull thing, and he was the one that went with me to go check it out and go get it. So ever since day one, he was like, man, that thing is nice. If you ever want to sell it, let me know. I didn't think it was serious, but he's like, you know, that'd be a great yard car or whatever I need truck related. And I told him, I'm like, hey, I got it for sale for this much money. I let it go to you for this much money less. And yeah, basically I'm selling everything in here other than the tools and the air compressor. So any other, you know, storage things and this and all that included. This included coming with the van. So I tried the whole roadside service. My advice to you is, if you're gonna do roadside, just commit to roadside 100%. You can make money doing this, and maybe I could make more money doing this than driving a truck if I committed to this full time. But it's hard work, man. When it's 100 degrees and you're under a truck on a shoulder and nobody's moving over, it's not easy, man. It's not made for everybody. You gotta be safe and you gotta be willing to roll anytime, anywhere. But then again, it's the same thing with trucking. So you can definitely make money doing it. Maybe I come back to it someday when you know, once I sell this van, I'm probably gonna sell my pickup truck as well. And I'm thinking maybe I just buy like a Sprinter van, and then therefore I have something that's big enough to move any cargo I need moved, like drywall sheets, whatever, tires for my personal use. And then I can also have some tool cabinets and a small compressor in there as well. If I do get a road call, I can use that for a road call as well. But this way, I'm having an additional vehicle that I'm maintaining just for the road call, and I really don't drive it, and I'm paying this, you know, insurance for the vehicle, and I'm paying for liability. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at, and I'm like, you know what, I should just sell it. I've had it for like a year, and it just doesn't work. When you're trucking full time, most of the calls you're gonna get are at night, and it's on weekdays. And then, you know, when I'm home, if I don't get anything Friday, if I do get something Saturday night, it's like, well, there's nothing even open. There's no dealership even open. I'm not big enough to stock on hand all the variety of things that I need. As a matter of fact, I don't stock anything because, you know, why would I? Who knows if I'll get the call? So it's hard, you know. For me, basically, Friday nights and whole day Sunday is kind of an open window for me to get the call. But like I said, if you're gonna go down this route and invest into this, I mean, you got to spend a couple $1,000s on NTTS for advertising per year, but it's gonna pay off. And you don't want to invest into Google. It's junk. The type of crowd that Google attracts and the type of crowd NTTS attracts is, you want NTTS. So it's usually like professional fleet managers and managers on roadside repair for fleet and stuff like that, and they don't nickel and dime, and you don't got to fight for a payment and things like that, you know. But that's kind of where I'm at. This thing is probably going for sale, like I said, and I'll keep you guys posted on more on it. But today we're gonna go knock out that oil change, so we'll probably just catch you at the truck stop. Let's keep on rolling. Alright, so here we are at the yard, as you can tell. And I have the easy drain connected on my oil pan. So what I do is I lift my truck on these blocks, so it's easier to get under there, grease everything up. And then what I do is I just drain it all into the bucket, try and make it as mess free as possible. But you can see it's still making a little bit of mess up top, but no big deal out of these Baldwin filters. And I'll tell you, I usually try to use I always been using these Donaldson oil filters from dealer, but then this time I didn't feel like going to dealer, so I went to Peterbilt and got these Baldwin filters. And I literally feel like there's less blow by from these filters than the Donaldson ones. And I mean, the Detroit's have blow by, but I literally feel like these have less. What's up with all the freaking flies here? But yeah, we're about to drain this, and I gotta run to Home Depot, get some shut-off valve, because I want to put a shut-off valve on my bypass oil filter. I want to try to resist the oil flow, see if it's gonna give me a little bit more oil pressure. Yeah, I got freaking oil everywhere as I was putting a hole in those oil filters. All the oil splattered everywhere. But yeah, so let's do that. Alright, let's disable that face track crap. Long story short, I got done doing my oil change, and basically right now I'm gonna show you guys a little what do you even call this thing? A freaking cutter? Plasma cutter, that's the word, plasma cutter. My brain had a freeze. But in the meantime, I wanted to show you guys, I haven't made a video in so long. As many of you guys know, I have a generator on my truck, and yeah, I have a glove on. I put some napkin, screwed up my finger, and it's bleeding. Don't have a band-aid or something. But as many of you guys know, I used to run a mini split AC that used to be right up here, and then I cut up a section up top to install a mini split, but I just never got to that. As you can see, truck is a complete mess. I put my grease gun in here when I go on the road to install it. So I've been running this portable AC unit, and it's done decent. It can blow cold air on you. That's all that matters. But the issue with these portable AC units is they suck all the hot, cool air out of the truck and push it out. That's why you get the dual air hose portable AC if you want one. However, the issue is most of them are very, very high BTU and way too much for my generator and unnecessary for my truck. Just guzzles way too much gas. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go get this 6,000 BTU. And then what I did is I kind of made this enclosure here from insulation foam board and HVAC tape. So basically what I did is I added an additional hose, and now what it does is sucks the air from the outside to cool the condenser. I believe the condenser is down there, evaporator's down there, or vice versa. So basically what you want is you want the cool air circulating up here and pushing inside the truck, and you don't want any cool air being sucked down here because that will push it right out. So basically that's what I did. Now I have two hoses, and I have a low BTU hour AC unit that doesn't take a lot of wattage because I have a small generator, so I can still get good amount of time on my extended fuel tank especially. So I figured I would show you that, but that's as far as that goes. We're gonna shut this thing off. I haven't tested this setup yet on the road.
somebody online was talking about it, and I was like, let me give this a shot. So this is yet to be tested, and I'll let you guys know how it works. But I would definitely say if you want an AC for your truck, just get a mini split. You can get one under 500 bucks. But for me, I bought this for time being, and I just kind of stuck with it. And now I'm like, should I even get a mini split? I definitely want to get a mini split, but should I get one now? Because summer is almost over. And yeah, let's shut off this generator, as you can see, so we can actually talk. So I have this Best Arc plasma cutter. I've had this thing for a while. They sent it to me for a while ago. I actually opened it up. I was gonna use it. I never got to use it. So I mean, it's like dual wattage. You can do 220, 110. It even says 380, which I don't know what the hell you would hook up to 380, but I have the adapter, so I can try and use it on my generator for demonstration purposes. I really just want to show it to you guys on what it can do. And the crazy thing with these plasma cutters is, if you ever welded or anything, you know you need gas, like argon, CO2, whatever. So I thought you need gas, argon, CO2 in this case as well, but you don't. That's the craziest thing. You just need air and electricity, and I guess it forces the arc with air, and that's how it cuts. So the idea behind it is we're gonna turn on this air compressor that I have, and you definitely need a regulator because you want to regulate the amount of airflow that it goes through. So I did is I kind of hooked up this little Harbor Freight regulator, and I need about 20 to 40 psi, so I'm gonna put, let's say 30, and then we're gonna hook it up and see what kind of cutting you can do on this, and then we're gonna show you what that does like. So hopefully that's the plan. Again, that's what it looks like. We're gonna turn it on, see what kind of settings we can do, and see if we can do some cutting, hopefully. Because if you can do it with that generator, that's awesome on the go. So let's give it a shot. I don't think the video is gonna read what I need, so I guess I'm gonna turn it down. We have cut, air, cut, and basically up here, air pressure. Yeah, let's turn on our air compressor and see what we can do. Alright, well that didn't exactly work out the way I planned it to. I ran out of gas on my generator. Not on my generator, on my air compressor, and I don't feel like going to fill this up, so we're going to continue this video at home and hopefully get this thing going at home and show you what kind of cutting you can do and whatnot. I would say it's a good tool to use if accuracy is not of the most important value, I guess, because if you want accuracy, you're not going to use this. It's not going to leave 100% clean cut ready to weld. Now if you're trying to just get something removed and cut up roughly or do shapes and stuff like that, it's great. And excuse me. And I mean, the fact that you don't need gas is really, really nice. If you needed gas, it would be a pain in the rear. I mean, there's so many options of cutting stuff that it's like, what's the best way? Damn. It's like, what's the best way to go about it? There's so many ways to skin a cat, or whatever the saying is. So, like, for me personally, if I'm cutting something straight line long, I'll use a circular saw with a Diablo metal cutting blade, and just a regular circular saw will do the job. Then you have a Sawzall, then you have a jigsaw with a metal blade. There's a lot of ways, and obviously then you have a grinder, but grinder is usually my last go-to. Unless it's something just small, go-to, cut, boom, boom, boom. I even have a miter saw that can cut metal. So there's a lot of ways. However, if it's an awkward place and you're just trying to get something removed, especially on like machinery, I think this is a great tool. And like I said, most guys that are working out in the field, they have a compressor on hand. And most guys have a welder on hand as well. So even if it didn't need gas, it'll be fine. But like I said, the fact that it doesn't need gas, you don't spend any extra money on that, it's good. But yeah, we'll catch you at home and show you how it works, hopefully. Alright, so made it home. We're going to do take two. Got this connected to my compressor and some stronger power. Hopefully my breaker can handle it. this is kind of what we're looking at. It's showing 48 psi, but once it starts cutting, it's gonna drop. And I have it set to 25 amps. Should have no problem cutting through this. This is about 1/8 inch. And then I want to show you what the van looks like, cleaned up and emptied out. I don't know why this gimbal's wilding out. Cleaned up, tire shine on, ready for new buyer. In here I haven't removed these. You want to leave those, so we left those cleaned up. The floor mats, the dash, everything nicely. And then back here, took everything out. You get the idea. Let's get to cutting. So before you go into it, it's probably worth mentioning you shouldn't do this in shorts, but at least I have my welding jacket and I don't have proper gloves. You probably should. But we're about to find out. At least wear a helmet. Let's see if this shit is on. Well, I think we tripped the breaker. I definitely needed to run this on 220, but that's pretty impressive how easily this cuts. Let's show you. That was cutting very easy. Definitely shouldn't have a ground on the side that you're cutting off. Should be over here, but that cuts so effortlessly through that. Probably shouldn't be by a car with a gasoline tank under there. But that's definitely impressive. I think I just need a better outlet, which I don't have an extension cord long enough to reach to my dryer outlet, and I don't want to be cutting in my garage. So that's probably going to do it. We're going to be more videos on this, and catch you on the next one. Stay safe.